Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Leo April 2018 horoscope forecast. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant. Anyway, people, first thing up is, as far as April goes, well, the sun will be in Aries from the 1st until the 19th. So the ninth house as well will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Leo, there could be a lot of concentration of energy, focus, and attention, perhaps into being courageous, assertive, and aggressive. And and it could be matters connected with philosophy, with religion, also in matters with grandchildren, with in-laws. It could be taking the lead in those in situations with them. But remember that Aries can often also be about confrontational and combative energy. So be careful about perhaps potential quarrels with these people as well. And there could be more arguments with others, perhaps about religion, philosophical outlook, as well as Aries could be very argumentative energy. But Aries is also, it's very energetic. This energy, but can be impatient as well. So there could be a lot of concentration of energy and focus and attention into really just being very action oriented in ninth house matters, but not necessarily following up on those things, but in finishing what you start in connection with them. So anyway, next thing up is, well, the sun will be in Taurus as far as April goes, from the 19th until the 30th. So the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Leo. So at this time for Leo, there could be very strong concentration of energy, focus, and attention into very persistent, deliberate, methodical career, I guess you could say, approach, or really being, I should say, into matters pertaining to your career, to the dominant parent, and into recognition and notoriety, in doing so with a lot of that Taurus-like persistence and perhaps perseverance as well, doing this in a very deliberate fashion. And you could also be really, the sun is about where we want to shine, so it could really be about really strongly getting that attention, getting that notoriety and recognition and acclaim, but doing so with a lot of that Taurus-like latent energy, being able to disperse the energy properly, and really holding on to it until when you, and really utilizing it in a very useful manner, holding on to it when you have to, but using it when it's necessary for important things. So anyway, well, the next thing up is the new moon will be in Aries on April 15th. So the ninth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Leo. So at this time for Leo, well, this could be about perhaps, the new moon is about initiative and enterprise, and Aries is the same way. So the new moon in Aries is very good. This could be about perhaps embarking on something with a lot of Aries-like enterprise and initiative, and perhaps something new connected with the ninth house matters, such as publishing, higher education. It could be an Aries-type course you might decide to take. It could be, for example, welding, something connected with firearms, arson investigation, law enforcement, the military even. And also it could be about perhaps a rekindled or new relationship connected with an in-law or a grandchild, and one that you approach with a lot of fortitude, a lot of aggression, a lot of assertiveness as well, and perhaps taking that lead role in it as well, since we are talking about the sign Aries. So anyway, well, the next thing up is, well, the full moon will be in Scorpio on April 29th. So the fourth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Leo. So at this time for Leo, well, Leo might become somewhat tired, exasperated, and full at perhaps a manipulative, controlling family member, one that might really be somewhat sneaky and surreptitious, or even just tired of just general surreptitious activity at home, and even sometimes nefarious as well. This could also be a culmination of or ending of a Scorpio-like project at home. That could be, I mean, it could be something connected with Scorpio, such as perhaps the occult, supernatural, astrology, magic, alchemy, some kind of investigation. This could also be something connected with perhaps a conundrum or mystery that comes to a resolution or close. It could be something connected with a home or family member. It could be something connected with your roots, your ancestry might come to a conclusion at this time. It could even be something of a mystery about someone that you just simply feel at home with, and really getting to who you are at the core, and really perhaps where you dug very deep and you really at this point maybe you've come to that conclusion as to who you may be at the core, so to speak. So anyway, next thing up is Mercury will be in Aries, and the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. It'll be retro for about half the month. This could be a time where you might have more really acrimonious and really maybe communications that might be more acerbic with in-laws, with grandchildren. There might be more arguments with others about philosophical differences. Really where you're very incisive and getting to the point and very outspoken as well. But at the same time, Mercury and Aries energy can often be very pioneering and original. And it might be where you come up with some very good ideas connected perhaps with religion. It could be with a philosophical outlook. Perhaps it can, I mean, this could really be really something too where I mean the 9th house is about our it's about our philosophy. I mean it's connected with philosophy and higher education. And this could be a time too, I mean Mercury and Aries energy could be very impatient. So I mean mentally you might be more impatient with certain things if they're not panning out in 9th house matters, such as traveling abroad, such as philosophy, religion, and higher education, and even matters connected with in-laws and grandchildren. But remember, it's going to be in retrograde for about half the month, so during that time there'll be a little bit more review before thinking and before stating the sometimes very brusque and outspoken Aries statements. So anyway, next thing up, well, Venus will be in Taurus as far as April goes from the 1st until the 24th. So the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, this could be about a very strong love of money, stability, peace, and tranquility, and really connected with your career as well. This is a time where you might enjoy a very stable and peaceful type career atmosphere and environment, and something where also too, if you are unattached at this time, this could be a time where you might connect with a prospective significant other, romantic partner. That could be a sun, moon, or ascendant in Taurus, or simply somebody that embodies those characteristics, somebody that might figure prominently in your reputation, your public image, and matters pertaining to your career and your stature in life. So also too, this could be about perhaps making more money in career endeavors and doing so with a very good Taurus-like financial acumen, and maybe being able to have the money to improve, to increase somehow your notoriety and be able to spend money in order to do so. So anyway, next thing up is Venus will be in Gemini from April 24th until the 30th. So the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Leo. So at this time for Leo, well, this could be a time where, I mean, you look at this first thing up is, I mean, it can be potentially two romantic partners simultaneously that you may have connected with through social networking, or may have been friends originally and have escalated to something a little bit stronger. But given that we're talking about Gemini energy, they can be a little bit superficial as well. This is a time too where you might have very strong enjoyment of mental stimulation, variety, dexterity, expressing versatility, and it could be tied into your goals and using this in your goals and aspirations. Now, money may be spent on communication devices, and that could really maybe play a role in your future, such as, I mean, getting, maybe more things connected with the internet and computers, etc. So anyway, you understanding of the point. But also, this could be a love of multitasking, perhaps in groups and organizations as well, and a very strong enjoyment perhaps of communicating with people in those groups and expressing yourself with a lot of that, Gemini like eloquence and diction. So anyway, next thing up is Mars will be in Capricorn. So the sixth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Leo. So at this time for Leo, this could be where you might have more contentious and acrimonious situations going on with people in your daily routine, at your workplace. Even when you look at the sixth house, even people that are prominent in your health life. So I mean, figure prominently in your health, such as somebody that you might work out with at a gym, for example. Also, too, this could be about a lot of consistent, serious, and disciplined energy in health and work-related matters, being very orthodox in doing so, working within the parameters, so to speak. And really, at the same time, there could be arguments over responsibilities with people you work with, people in your daily routine. There could be also more arguments with authority figures at that place that you work work with, and maybe even people in your daily routine that are in positions of authority, perhaps. So anyway, but keep in mind too, this could also be about having, Capricorn energy is very consistent. It could be having consistent sex in your daily routine, so to speak, and it could be also maybe really also do sex that is very premeditated as well. So anyway, keep in mind too, the danger here is, Leo, is perhaps of over exertion, perhaps. So we're talking about Mars, and really it's connected with vitality and energy, and especially if this is making it in conjunct to an actual Leo ascendant. And despite Leo often having that near inexorable energy, even Leos can be, zapped of energy from time to time. So just be careful at this time. So anyway, next thing up is Jupiter will be in Scorpio, and it will be retrograde in April. So the fourth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Leo, well, this could be about a lot of luck and fortune, making a major transformation in the home, such as a renovation. It could even be giving some kind of extension or expanding the home somehow. Also, too, really going beyond the subterfuge and superficial in terms of home and family, digging deep into one's roots. That could be very beneficial for that at this time. And also, too, it could be a lot of exuberance and enthusiasm connected with making that strong transformation of the home, of the family life. And also, too, this could be a time as well. I mean, keep in mind that it will be retrograde this month, so it's going to be about perhaps a very strong review of a profound philosophy that you might have about the end of life, and even maybe someone you feel close at home with. So anyway, next thing up is Saturn will be in Capricorn. So the sixth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, and it will be retrograde from the 17th until the 30th as far as April goes. So anyway, well, Leo might be feeling more restrictions and limitations in their work, in their health life at this time, making him or her feel very melancholy and despondent. Could also be about really being maybe somewhat debilitated and sickly. This is the house we're talking about health, but it could also be taking care of somebody that might be debilitated and sickly, that may be somebody that you might work with, someone in your daily routine. It could be someone figures prominently in your health life. And remember, too, this could also be about an aunt or uncle. I mean, remember that the fourth house is, is generally, it's the less dominant parent, which is often the mother. So you're going two houses from that to the sixth house. That represents the siblings of that person. So it could be an aunt or an uncle that and that could be someone that you may be taking care of at this time, and it could be connected with something Capricorn related, such as something with the knees or the bones. So anyway, well, and also it's going to be retrograde from the 17th to the 30th as far as April goes. So this could be about reviewing responsibilities to health and work related matters at this time, and really serious ones as well. Next thing up is Uranus will be in Aries. So the ninth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, this could be a time for Leo where perhaps friendships might figure in more prominently in one's philosophy, higher education, and maybe even their religious outlook and beliefs. Could also be a time too where maybe in-laws and grandchildren might be acting a little bit more bizarrely, maybe more unorthodox or unpredictable than usual, but they also might be expressing some kind of ingenious qualities at this time as well. Now, the thing about this too is it could be a time where you might take a higher education course that might be Uranus related, such as something connected with astronomy, aerospace, computers, electronics, something that could be tied in with an esoteric subject such as astrology. So anyway, and also too, this is really a time too where really you might really wind up taking some kind of long distance journey that might be very unusual, something that might be very unanticipated and unexpected at this time. So anyway, well, the next thing up is Neptune will be in Pisces. So the eighth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Leo. So at this time for Leo, well, this could be a time for Leo. You're talking about the house of transformation. It could be a transformation connected with detox and cleansing the body, so to speak, of negative things. This could be something too where you look at this could be where in some cases where there might be some chaos and confusion in matters connected with taxes and inheritance, even some kind of insurance. This could be a time as well where perhaps a sexual partner or someone you're in an intimate relationship with might seem a little bit nebulous or unclear, or might even be involved with drugs and or alcohol at this time. This is a time too where, Neptune is about dissipation and dissolving. Sometimes this could be good. It could be about dissolving and dissipation of taxes. It could be over money. Oh, it could be over some kind of credit that you maybe some kind of debt or something you may have owed. Credit card debt perhaps. But at the same time, it could be about dissipation, dissolving of somebody that you're in an intimate relationship with as well. And this could be a time too where, be very careful about being deceptive or duplicitous over tax-related matters such as tax evasion. And also too, this could be a time as well where you could succumb to some kind of credit card fraud as well. So you're talking about credit cards, 8th house, and also Neptune in Pisces, and about deception. And keep in mind too that don't let any false prophets try to make any major change in your life or try to transform you. So during this time as well, since we are talking about Neptune energy in Pisces and the 8th house of transformation. So anyway, next thing up is Pluto will be in Capricorn still, so the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time for Leo, well, this could be, I know a lot of you don't want me to say the dreaded D word, but I do anyway, because it is associated with Pluto. This could be a time where you may experience an actual literal death of somebody that is prominent in your health life. It could be someone in your daily routine, a person that you may be close to that is a fellow employee. It could also be an aunt or uncle, because keep in mind that the sixth house is 2 away from the fourth, and that represents, I mean, the fourth house is connected with the less, I mean, I see the less dominant parent, which is often the mother. So it could be somebody that if a mother has a brother or sister, and or sister, then that person, there's a little greater propensity for perhaps experiencing a death in connection with that person at this time, as the sixth house could represent an aunt or uncle, as it's that less dominant parent's sibling. So anyway, also there could be more upheavals and power struggles at your place of employment. This could be a strong time in connection with making a transformation as far as your health goes at this time. It could be working out vigorously, for example. But remember, and also in some cases, this could, going back to the dreaded D word, the death of a pet, perhaps. And also, too, this could be a time to be very careful, Leo, of perhaps obsessive compulsive issues at this time, and maybe becoming overly obsessed or fixated on things connected with your physical health and matters with your daily routine, and also work-related matters as well. Could be a time, too. Remember, I mean, when you're talking about Pluto in the sixth house, I mean, you're talking about transformation, and Capricorn is connected with the knees and the joints. So it could be a time in some remote cases that there can be some kind of maybe joint replacement or something connected with the knee, some kind of knee replacement surgical procedures. So anyway, well, next thing up is, well, the North Node will be in Leo. So the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, this could be about, when the North Node is in transit, it's often about issues we have to confront and address. And this could be about perhaps confronting or perhaps an issue connected with a very domineering, overbearing, arrogant, bombastic, maybe person that is connected with your early childhood. It could actually be also a person that might figure prominently in a new beginning. New beginnings, you might be directed toward doing something Leo-like, such as something with entertainment or acting or with the theater. Also, too, I mean, this could be a time as well where you might have to address maybe some negative Leo characteristics about yourself, such as what I talked about before. And also, too, this could be as well really about new beginnings, initiating them, and doing so with a lot of that Leo-like courage, self-assuredness, and confidence. And also maybe about really, if you have any issues about being overly extravagant, this could be about the time to deal with it. And also issues with the physical body, perhaps especially if this is actually the literal first house in Ascendant, something connected with the upper back or something with the heart might need attention at this time. Anyway, next thing up is, well, the Black Moon Lilith will be in Capricorn, so the sixth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Leo, this could be perhaps about, I mean, really it could be somebody in your daily routine, your work life, someone figures prominently in your health life, could be exhibiting some kind of ruthless, tyrannical, overambitious qualities at this time. And also, too, when you're talking about the Black Moon Lilith, this could be about connected with something that could put us in a strong state of fear and trepidation. And in this case, this could be about perhaps relinquishing authority at your place of employment or work, or someone that undermines your authority, so to speak, in something related to the sixth house, such as health. I mean, these can be things that could really put you in a strong state of fear or trepidation. Could also be about a revelation of a formidable Capricorn adversary, which could actually be a Capricorn sun, moon, or ascendant, or somebody that simply embodies those characteristics. It could be somebody that's at your place of employment, someone prominent in your health life, daily routine. Could even be an aunt or uncle, because the sixth house can be connected with generally the less dominant parents' siblings. Remember, the fourth house is it's the less dominant parent as I see it, and many will say that. Some people think it's the other way around, but I see it as generally the less dominant parent. And 2 over from that represents the siblings of that person, which is the sixth house. So therefore, I mean, it could be an aunt or an uncle that could be that could be revealed as that Capricorn adversary or Capricorn-like adversary, somebody that might just simply embody those Capricorn-like characteristics. So anyway, next thing up is Chiron will be in Pisces as far as April goes, from the 1st until the 16th. So the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Leo, this could be about perhaps dealing with some kind of emotional wounds and maybe some suffering connected with credit card fraud, deception, perhaps in duplicity associated with someone you're in an intimate relationship with. It could be over shared resources, and maybe even could be overly delusional about making that major change or transformation. It could have been maybe setting the bar too high, so to speak. And also too, this could be about as well maybe being overly passive in 8th house matters and not acting with enough initiative. It could be connected matters with taxes or insurance matters or some kind of inheritance issue, and also dealing with chaos and confusion, perhaps in a sexual relationship you may be involved in as well. And also too, this could be a time where, I mean, you might be dealing with a sexual partner that might be succumbing to drugs or alcohol, or even dealing with being overly gullible in matters in an intimate or sexual relationship. But remember that Chiron is the wounded healer, so even though you might be maybe struggling in matters connected with Chiron and Pisces in the 8th house, you can perhaps help others dealing with comparable situations, and do so with a lot of that Pisces-like compassion, empathy, and self-sacrifice. Last but not least, Chiron will be in Aries as far as April goes, from the 16th until the 30th, so the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time for Leo, well, there can be certain suffering and emotional wounds connected with combative, acrimonious experiences with in-laws, grandchildren. It could be over philosophical issues. It could also be dealing with some suffering by through maybe lack of aggression and lack of assertiveness in 9th house matters, such as perhaps matters pertaining to religion. It could be over maybe making a long distance trip. Something maybe were connected with publishing, where there was an opportunity to get something published and maybe make some money and get your word out about something, and you didn't capitalize on it. And it could be too that in-laws and grandchildren might be becoming headaches at this time. And also matters with higher education. It might be about maybe not taking the initiative in those things. And also, when you're talking about Chiron and Aries, this could often be about wounds and suffering, emotional wounds and suffering due to perhaps feeling of unworthiness. And it could be maybe connected with lack of a higher education with some people. Maybe it's something, maybe you feel that way based on your how maybe you might feel your grandchildren, if applicable, and or in-laws might think of you at this time. So anyway, but remember too that whatever issues you might be dealing with and you're going through struggles and suffering connected with Chiron and Aries and the 9th house, you could help others dealing with comparable situations, and do so perhaps with a lot of Aries like courage, fortitude, aggression, and assertiveness. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Leo April 2018 horoscope forecast. Stay tuned next time where I'll be giving you my Virgo April 2018 horoscope forecast. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.